Hey everybody. Okay, so I know a lot of people are going to want to know what I thought about the ending of Mass Effect 3. Um, I it's a difficult thing to answer because it's one of those things where I was it what I expected? Yes, no, not really. Um, I'm not surprised that Shepard, using air quotes, Shepard died. Um, and I realized that there is an added like 3 second clip or 5 second clip, whatever, if you have a higher military readiness rating at the end of the game and you choose the destruction option, where you can actually see like Shepard's I want to use the word dismembered, but he's not dismembered. It's like his severely injured body. Um, Laying somewhere. Yes, I know, we don't know if it's Earth or the Citadel, but we'll get into that here in a minute. And then he breathes, like, right at the last second. So, I mean, there is the possibility that he lives, but, I mean, BioWare did specifically say that Mass Effect 3 was the end of Shepard's story, so it doesn't necessarily mean what I took from the end of Shepard's story to mean to me was that it doesn't necessarily mean that BioWare is done with the Mass Effect universe. They're just done with the Shepard trilogy. So if they do like Mass Effect 4, it'll be a completely different character, probably in a completely different time, either earlier, like during the First Contact War or the Krogan Rebellion, which would be interesting in my opinion, or later, showing you the aftermath. I think what they should do is if they're going to do more games and they want to do another trilogy, they should do something. They should do a prequel trilogy that covers like the First Contact War, the Krogan Rebellion, and something else. I don't know, and then a sequel trilogy that handles just how like the universe rebuilds itself or something. But anyway, I will say that after I beat the game, I looked online and I watched a bunch of other YouTubers explain what they thought and how they felt and stuff like that. And I watched, the indoctrination theory, which if you don't know what the indoctrination theory is, I'll put a link to the video down in the description. Go watch it because it is very interesting. I had a lot of people ask me, hey, after you watch the indoctrination theory, is that what you believe now? And I'm like, well, I don't know if I believe it. I won't deny that it's a very convincing set of circumstances that could be possible. A lot of it makes sense. There's a few things in it that, while decently thought out, aren't perfect. And I'm not a person to throw all my eggs in one basket or count my chickens before they hatch or any one of those lame references or whatever. But so I'm not really gonna say that I believe that's what BioWare was doing, because they really don't. Honestly, I watched some videos by another YouTuber called GamerMD83, and she has I'll put a link to her channel and some of her videos down in the description as well. But she has basically a similar outlook on the ending of the game as I do, and she words it a lot better than I probably could. But I look at the indoctrination theory and I go, well, this is how they ended Mass Effect 3 right now. And you look at how a lot of BioWare responded to the public outcry for a disappointment in the ending. And they made up a lot of random things, well, this happened, or this happened. And she knows a lot of the details as far as like interviews and things like that. So go watch her video for the details on that kind of stuff. But it's basically like, this is the ending they left us with, and people want to think that they're going to go so far as to think of all of this indoctrination stuff on their own, I really doubt it. I'm not trying to say that they're dumb or anything, but I really don't think that they put that much thought into it. She came up with a theory of her own called the being of light theory, where there's light mentioning of a being of light in Mass Effect 1 and Mass Effect 2. And that kind of made sense, but that too takes a lot of forethought on BioWare's part, and I really don't see BioWare putting that much forethought into this. I mean, it would have been awesome if they did, but I mean, they didn't put that much forethought into the fact that the fans were going to be upset at the current ending. And then let me clarify how I feel on it. I'm not really mad at BioWare. There's a lot of people out there that are like, fuck you, BioWare, we hate you, I'm never going to buy a game again. You ruined this entire Mass Effect universe completely in the last, 5 minutes. And I'm not going to go there, because I love the games. I'm going to play them all, dozens of times over, because it's just that awesome. I can just ignore the fact that the ending is kind of like, wah, wah, over how awesome the games were in general. And I am going to play the extended cut DLC, and I'm going to record those 3 endings, whatever I get out of them, because I know that even though the extended cut DLC is, X length of additional cutscenes, there are some things that will be omitted depending on the choices you made throughout the game. So I may not see them all, If there's partially Renegade-related parts, I won't see the Renegade-related parts, or if there's something different with Ashley than there is with Caden, I won't see the Ashley parts, stuff like that. But I mean, I'll get what I get, and then I'll record them, put them up on YouTube, show y'all what I think. A lot of people also tend to go off. This is one thing where GamerMD83 and I differentiate, is she tends to go off on BioWare a lot. And I don't think it's necessarily that she's attacking them or anything, because she mentions multiple times that she's like, I love this company and they make awesome games, and I'm still going to buy BioWare games, and I'm still going to get excited when they announce new IPs and stuff like that. But she tends to say a few times that BioWare didn't think of this, and BioWare made some mistakes and stuff like that. And I think it's less that BioWare made the mistakes, and it's more than it's more along the lines of EA pushing BioWare to get the game out as fast as possible, because it's like this money grab, and they want to get as much money out of it as they possibly can, because, oh my god, I just love money, and I want to just grab it all and put it in my butt. I don't know. That's EA talking, not me, so that's totally their deal. And there was one guy that posted a comment on one of my videos. I think it was number 53, the second to the last one, where I fight Kai Ling. But he goes, that's a really weird statement. Somebody commented about that, about hating EA in the comments, and he was like, well, that's really weird for you to say, because EA and BioWare are technically the same company. And while that's partially true, because EA actually owns BioWare, completely, that's not really true either, because you have to look at it from a business perspective. EOWare, that would be weird. EA did not purchase BioWare so that they could run the company. They purchased BioWare so they could make more money. If they control BioWare's money influx, flow, whatever. If they control BioWare's input and output of money, everything BioWare makes EA money, whether EA is the publisher or not. And, I mean, EA is going to be the publisher for, I would expect, everything from now on. But that doesn't necessarily mean that EA runs the company. You know, there's separate staff in BioWare that I'm sure don't communicate with EA on a daily basis. So, I mean, it's probably just along the lines of EA goes, you know, hey, BioWare employees, go make an awesome game for us that we'll publish and make us money. And BioWare's like, sure, no problem. And then BioWare cranks out the whole game with, using air quotes again here, with relatively little interference from EA for the most part. But I get the feeling that with the Mass Effect series, EA was more along the lines of, get us a game! Get us a game now! We want the money! Oh my god! So, I get the feeling that they were probably rushed on it. So, that's where I get the feeling that that's coming from. I tend to blame EA more than I blame BioWare on this, because BioWare's done exceptional work with entire games and their endings up until this point, at which they just screwed up the ending. So, I mean, I'm not one of those people that's like, screw you, BioWare, never buying one of your games again. That's a little bit of an overreaction, in my opinion. That's like a little 2-year-old throwing a temper tantrum. So I'm not really going to go there. I'm sure a lot of people are going to ask, you know, if you could have written the endings or finished the game, what would you have done differently? And I don't think I would have really changed a whole lot. I think I would have had everything up until the last, like, I don't know, 10 seconds be exactly the same. You do the whole Anderson elusive man thing. Then you go up to the top and you talk to the little kid, or being of light, whatever it is, and then you get those 3 choices, you know, control, synthesis, or destroy. And then from that point, depending on which one of those you choose, because one of the things I tend to agree with, one of the disappointments, is that you make all these Paragon or Renegade choices throughout the game, and then in the last 5 seconds, they're like, the ability for you to choose all of that and all of these Paragon or Renegade choices you made previously in the game have no effect on the ending whatsoever. If you played pure Renegade, like 100% pure Renegade through the entire game, you could then at the very end choose the Paragon path. And you'll get the quote-unquote Paragon-style ending, you know, if that's actually what that is. And that's a little bit of a... To me, that was like, well, that's kind of a cheap thing to do there, because it's almost like they were like, well, let's make these 3 endings, and rather than forcing them to choose the one that they've been playing through all 3 games, let's just give them the option again. That way they could just be completely different. But I think what they should have done is they should have had the same 3 endings, and they should have had 9 actual endings, so that you would go to, let's use Control as an example, because Control is a little easier to explain than the others. And I'm sure somebody in the comments can go, well, you could do this for Synthesis and this for Destroy on these 3 options, but let's use Control. So you go to Control, and you've used Paragon through all 3 games, or Paragon through the most of the 3 games, like you were Paragon in 1, and you were Neutral in 2, and you were Paragon in 3. So the game goes, okay, you're mostly Paragon, so we'll throw you into that category. And you go over to Control, and you take control of the thing, and of course you still merge with the Reaper energy, or whatever it is that you're doing. But in the Paragon ending of Control, you take the ships, you take the Reapers after you control them, and you run off, and maybe you help rebuild stuff, or maybe you help stop wars that other people are having, like let's say the Krogan, and just hypothetically the Krogan and the Turian get into a war. You go over there and you make sure that they're not going to kill each other. You know, you may let them. You become like Team Shepherd, Universe Police, or whatever. I don't know if that's a really good example, but you get my drift. And then if you did like a Renegade option, you basically just take the Reapers and you fly them off into deep space. And you don't really do anything with them. You just get rid of them. And then if you're Renegade, you take control of the Reapers, and then you do the Elusive Man or Cerberus route, where humanity is the best race in the universe, and everybody else is just a waste of flesh. And so you use the Reapers as a weapon against everyone else to take universal control, remove alien influences from places you want to go. Maybe not immediately wipe everybody out, but say like the humans want to expand, the humans want to expand to Tachanka, you just take the Reapers over to Tachanka and wipe out all the Krogan, and then you populate Tachanka. That's obviously not where humans would want to go, but it's just a good example. So I mean, I think they could have done that. It would have been a lot more work, and it would have taken a little longer, because they would have had to make 9 endings. But I think that tends to go over better. It would have made them only have to change the ending part, which, I mean, that's not really, they're not really changing the ending now. They were just adding to it, which is kind of what I would suggest. It's less work. It's more appealing because it appeals to the people that are all angry about having the Paragon and Renegade choices throughout the 3 games have no effect on anything. But yeah, that's basically it. I'm happy with the game. I'm kind of wah-wah with the ending, but I'm not one of those people that's all raging over it for some reason. I don't really understand those people that rage over stuff like that. It's just a game, people. Calm down. But other than that, that's pretty much it. Look forward the next few days to the extended cut DLC endings. I'm sure I'll have those out. They come out like, what, Tuesday or something? I'll probably either record those Tuesday or Wednesday, and then I'll record another My Thoughts and post those sometime during the week. But I'd like to take some time off, not play any games, and maybe take like a week of no YouTube videos, because I need to deal with some personal stuff anyway. And then we'll go from there. So thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking it through and watching all of these games and supporting me and all that good stuff. And we'll go from there. So thanks a lot.